Heavyweights trade soft in sluggish trade, but mid-caps clock some gains. Realty stocks eke out gains, but the metals and energy drag. Credit growth for the banking sector slows to a 68 fortnight low, even as deposit growth fails to pick up. Cholamandalam Investment and Finance tells CNBC-TV18 the CV loan business is also seeing a slowdown, though segments like affordable housing and loan against property fare well. Sami Hotels and Radisson Hotel India tells CNBC-TV18 that November this year has been the best ever, and they expect this run to continue, with supply unlikely to catch up to the growing demand, at least in the bigger cities. Bitcoin breaches at the $106,000 mark, taking the market capitalization to near $2.07 trillion. The expectation that a separate strategic reserve will be created by the US under the Trump for the crypto asset fuels the move. India tabla maestro, composer and four-time Grammy Award winner Zakir Hussain dies at 73 following a 2-week hospitalization. The Padma Vibhushan awardee and won the acclaim on the global stage, having performed with several world artists. Hello, good afternoon. You've tuned into Business Lunch on CNBC-TV18 and I'm Vinny Motiwala. A quick look at how the market is shaping up. So we've seen a bit of a subsidence that came in for the markets. It opened up in the red and then the decline just further, accentuated through the day. Now, as of now, Nifty is down almost 100 points, more than 100 points that we're seeing, down 0.5% of trade, similar to the sensex, also 0.5% of decline. But what's outperforming today is the broader market. So let's pull the Nifty mid and small cap because that's outperforming. Nifty mid cap holding on to gains of 0.5% and the small cap also managing to hold on to good gains in trade. Realty, PSU Banks, let's pull that up because that is among the top sectoral gainer. Nifty Realty up 3%. PSU Banks managing to hold on to some bit of a green as well, 0.2% of gains. But overall, the Nifty Bank, that's not been doing well, though the PSU Bank side is doing much better, only the PSU segment. Overall, Nifty Bank is not holding on to that much of a gain that we're seeing coming in trade. Let's move on and talk about some of the stocks that are in focus on the back of some news flows that have come in for them. One is Dixon Technologies, Afcons, though managing to hold on to very good gains. Other than that, we have Rights as well as JK Paper also managing to hold on to good gains on the back of news flows. Pharma, that's been an exciting space as well today, some of these names. So Aurobindo Pharma, Wockhardt Pharma. We have these companies in focus on the back of news flows. Spark is also buzzing in trade. They will be holding some investor presentation and meet that will be happening with some clients, and that is going to be on the 19th of December. So we'll watch out for that. It's going to be on the pathway in terms of research and development for them. What is the focus area going forward? So keep an eye on Spark also today, surely seeing a very sharp gain of almost 10% to 11% in trade. On that note, let's talk about the banking sector and start the show with the banking sector because that's in focus. Abhishek is joining in with us now to give us more details in terms of the banking sector's business, the momentum for the month of November. How is that shaping up? Abhishek, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Vinay. RBI gives out the fortnight credit and deposit data for the banking sector, and this time it looks to be on the weaker side for the month ending, November. And typically, what we have seen over the last few fiscals, or let's say 3 to 4 fiscals, is that whatever number has come in for the growth rate in November, end, that's been the typical growth rate for the fiscal year end as well, with plus or minus 25 to 50 basis point in growth rate. So business momentum as of 29 November 2024, deposit growth is at 10.75% year on year. This is the lowest growth that you are seeing in last 9 fortnights. Credit growth has dipped to 10.64% YOY, which is one of the lowest growth that you are seeing in last 68 fortnights. Deposit growth continues to outpace credit growth in the last 3 fortnight data that RBI has put out. Credit deposit ratio remains elevated at around 79.5%. And this is also one of the highest that you are seeing in last 5 fortnights. M3 growth or money supply growth that on a YOY basis is at 11 fortnight low of just 10% YOY. So deposit to M3 ratio that's improved to 83.25% when compared to 83.13% that we had seen a fortnight ago. X of SDFC Limited numbers, the deposit growth is at 11.1% YOY and 0.8% on a fortnight basis. This is the lowest number that you are seeing in last 9 fortnights. Advances growth is at 11.8% and 0.9% on a fortnight basis. Now, on a year-on-year basis, this is the lowest number that you are seeing in last 37 fortnights. Credit deposit ratio is at 77.7% when compared to 77.6% that the sector had reported in the last fortnight. Back to you.
Okay, Abhishek, thank you so much for the update coming in on the banking sector. But let's move on and talk about Work Hard. Why is that in focus today? Now, Work Hard is in focus. Why? Because they have successfully said that the use of Zynic, which is WCK-5222, that's the cancer drug that, Work Hard has spoken about since 2022. And since then, the stock has also moved up. But now they've seen some successful use of this drug in US cancer patients. Their phase 3 trial is already on in terms of the study that is taking place. And that is expected to be coming out soon. So, yes, that completion will be anytime soon that we're watching out for. Now, obviously, till date, they have seen 45 patients have treated 45 patients with this drug that have benefited under the compassionate use of the drug. I beg your pardon. So, compassionate use of the drug. That is something that they're working out in the phase 3 trial. And that is what is positive for the company, because this is a slight bit of a positive use that after the drug, they have managed to see, positive results coming in and take further treatments, at least for the patients that they've tested it on so far. Let's not forget, Work Hard has seen a very sharp run up in the last couple of years as well. Last 1 year, it's more than 200% uptick that one is seeing in, and that is mainly because of this cancer drug, which is an important one for the company. Let's move on to the next stock also that is in focus today. We have HPL Power that we're keeping an eye out on, and that is because they have won a coverage order of around 1,522 crores. This is a big order because this is for around 2,200 locomotives that they have to supply and install, actually, the systems for the railway systems. This is expected to be completed in the time period of 12 months. And other than that, 24% of the revenue as of now, as of 2024, FY24, came in from railway electronics, coverage, as well as chargers. But in the last year and few months, we've seen increased order coming in from the railway segment. So that is something that we'll be keeping an eye out on. But on that note, those were the buzzing stocks. But with that, we'll slip into a very short break. And after the break, we'll get you exclusives on a whole host of discussions that are likely to be a part of the upcoming GST meet. What will be that agenda there? Stay tuned in for that. Welcome back to Business Lunch on CNBC-TV18. Let's move on and get to some CNBC-TV18 exclusive. A whole host of deliberations and discussions are likely to take place at the GST Council meeting that will be held on the December of 25th. Shivani joining in with us with what she's picking up on GST on the old and used EVs and smaller petrol and diesel cars. Shivani.
Well, yes, sources have told CNBC-TV18 that electric vehicles or EVs may soon face a higher GST rate in the resale market. The GST Council's Fitment Committee has proposed increasing the tax on old and used EVs and also on smaller cars like sedans from existing 12% to 18%, aligning them with the rates applied to larger petrol and diesel vehicles. Currently, resale EVs fall under this lower slab of 12% GST, while new EVs enjoy a concessional 5% GST rate to promote green mobility in India. But this proposal could make second-hand EVs less affordable for people in India. Now, here's how the current GST structure works. Larger petrol vehicle, diesel cars and SUVs are already taxed at 18%. Smaller vehicles, including compact cars, sedans and EVs, are taxed at 12% when sold in the used market. However, the tax is applied only to the supplier's margin, the difference between the selling price and the purchase price or depreciated value, keeping the overall tax burden low. If the GST Council approves this hike in December meeting, all old and used vehicles, including EVs, would uniformly attract 18% GST. This move could increase cost in the resale market, especially for budget-conscious EV buyers. Back to you.
Thank you so much for that update there. But now over to Timsy, who's also picking up other key items that are likely to be on the GST Council's agenda. Listen in, and Timsy, take it over.
Well, that's right. Upcoming GST Council meeting in Jaisalmer on 21st December could discuss some of the major proposals, which includes to consider closure of GOM on revenue analysis, which has been in existence since 2019, and it has not been able to give any concrete recommendations. Thus, there's a proposal for a closure. Then comes the GOM on restructuring of compensation cess, that is likely to submit a status report and seeking a 3-month extension under the chairmanship of MOS Pankaj Chaudhary. That is most likely to go through. Apart from this, for the Industry Council is likely to discuss and approve rules and procedures of functioning of the appellate tribunals to reduce the legal burden of courts for the industry and for the government. Then comes for online services. The Council could discuss to issue clarity on details of unregistered recipient and declaration of place of supply. Then comes Council could create a provision to grant temporary identification number to those who are not liable for a permanent number, because there's a huge queue of GSTN while people are seeking GSTN and they are not being granted this. So this could ease the burden and allow these people to conduct business smoothly. Apart from that, then comes a concept note is likely to be discussed in the Council for issuing GST registration based on risk assessment. This will give more teeth to the IT backbone, and the deliberations are on granting different categories of registration based on risk profile, and thus allowing out ITC benefit also based on the risk profile. So let's see what happens finally when the Council meets on 21st of December.
Absolutely, Timsy. Thank you so much for that. But on to another CNBC TV 18 exclusive that we have for you all. Parikshit is joining in with us with details on Bajaj Auto's EV game plan. Listen in to Parikshit and his views coming in on what is expected there. Parikshit, what are we expecting from Bajaj Auto's side now?
Well, Bajaj Auto is targeting selling 500,000 electric vehicles in FY26 and more than that as well. Rajiv Bajaj, in fact, told CNBC TV18 exclusively that the company is likely to exit FY25 with a capacity and sales run rate of 40,000 cumulative electric vehicles per month. The company has new electric three-wheeler launches, including an e-rickshaw on the anvil in the coming months, and these will significantly bolster sales volume. We will, in fact, see a lot of action starting this December and in the next quarter as well. Sources tell CNBC TV18 that the e-rickshaw will be launched in Q1 of FY26. In fact, Bajaj Auto is likely to launch a new brand for electric three-wheelers. All new electric three-wheelers will have the new brand identity. Sources also add that the company will launch 5 new electric Chetak scooters and 5 electric three-wheeler passenger and cargo vehicles in the coming months. A new Chetak scooter is being launched on the 20th of December this year, which sources say will have a bigger battery, higher range, more features and better performance than the current Chetak lineup in the market. The production capacity of Bajaj Auto is being ramped up to meet electric vehicle sales target of over 5 lakh EVs in FY26. Bajaj Auto has sold a total of over 1.7 lakh electric vehicles across 2- and 3-wheeler segments. The company has emerged as the top electric 2-wheeler maker in December, displacing Ola Electric.
Okay, Parikshit, thank you so much for the latest update coming in on that front. But on that note, we're going to slip into a very short break. And on the other side, tributes pour in over the passing of the tabla maestro Ustad Zakir Hussain. We get you more after this break. Somber news coming in this morning where we got to know the tabla maestro Ustad Zakir Hussain passed away at a hospital in San Francisco at the age of 73, and according to his family he died due to complications arising due to progressive illness of respiratory system. The musician who took the tabla to the global stage had been hospitalized for the last 2 weeks and was later taken to the ICU as his condition worsened. Ustad Zakir Hussain's career spanned over 5 decades, during which he was revered as both a national treasure in India and admired worldwide. The percussionist, one of India's most celebrated classical musicians, received the Padma Shri in 1988, the Padma Bhushan in 2002 and the Padma Vibhushan in 2023. And tributes pour in from around the world to honor the legendary Ustad Zakir Hussain, who left an indelible mark on the classical music world. Prime Minister Narendra Modi praised the remarkable contribution to showcasing Indian instruments globally and calling him a true genius. Musicians and industry leaders are also paying their respects. A.R. Rahman remembered the tabla maestro, expressing regret over missing the opportunity to collaborate with him. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella acknowledged Ustad's rhythmic brilliance, hailing him as a true legend. Rajya Sabha MP and philanthropist Sudha Murthy also shared her reaction to his demise. Listen in.
Hearing Zakir Hussain's death, it gives immense pain. He is the one who introduced the beauty of tabla to the Western country. He was a good human being. I knew him personally, and it's a great loss to India as well as the music world.
And moving on to some international updates that we have this afternoon. South Korea's ruling party leader, Hang Dong-hoon, is stepping down following the impeachment of the country's president, Yoon Suk-yeol. Now, earlier, South Korea's lawmaker voted to impeach the president over the attempt to impose martial law in the country. CNBC's Sherry Kang is joining in with us to give us the latest.
The ruling party leader, Han Dong-hoon, stepping down, and this was... We've been seeing signs, especially since late last week, calls were growing for him to resign from his post. He did a lot of back and forth on President Yoon's impeachment, and how he managed the party line was very much in question, especially coming from the ruling party lawmakers who were really siding with the president. And we've got a lot of optics that showed President Yoon versus his own ruling party, Han, as well, so in recent months. So this really shows somewhat of a breakup among conservatives, people who were for or against President Yoon's impeachment. And I think that's going to be a really key point, going forward as we keep watching the political chaos in South Korea. President Yoon, who has been impeached, the ruling is going to be coming from the Constitutional Court to make it official, to uphold or reject. We've got some months for that to happen. We've got the Constitutional Court actually picking up the case pretty fast, and they've already begun reviewing this case from this morning.
Okay, and as we wrap up on Business Lunch, we leave you with visuals of the world chess champion Gukesh D, who returned to the country earlier today, days after winning the 2024 FIDE World Championship in Singapore and becoming the youngest ever at the age of 18. Okay. With that, it's a wrap on this edition of Business Lunch. Thank you so much for tuning in to CNBC TV18. Don't go anywhere. You have Midcap Radar up next.